What an honor and a privilege to speak to you today. And what an honor that you give me as you present me with the Ermely Boys Instructional Advocacy Award. I am a proud member of the Amarillo Education Association and TSTA. And I want to tell you two stories. When Lily said that our stories are powerful, I brought two for you today that I think illustrates why all of us do what we do. As a teacher of refugee students, I've been privileged to see public education through the eyes of students from countries as diverse as Burma, Somalia, Ethiopia, Iraq, and Cuba. I'm thinking now of a student who taught me that public schools are so much more than a building. They are our culture's greatest gift to the world. Larway was a shy teenage girl who had little formal schooling and much suffering in her native Burma. One day in Amarillo, we had a snowstorm that shut down school. But Larway set off, trudging towards school, clutching a backpack full of homework. Her friends had to find her and tell her that school was closed. But how is that possible, she said. School is always open, like the hospital. For Larway, school was special. We were her beacon, her stability, her source of inspiration, dreaming, and hope. This is the commitment that America and its schools offer all of our students. We will be here and we will help you. This is no easy promise, and that's why so many families, refugee or native born, send us their most precious natural resource, their children. They trust us to teach them no matter their ability, no matter their financial ability, their behaviors, or any other situation. Right now, public schools need allies to help us keep our promises. As members of the Texas State Teachers Association, you know about keeping promises. From its founding in 1880, TSTA has helped to build and maintain a long-standing legacy of public education in Texas. We all believe that every child should be given a chance to succeed because of the promises we've made as Americans, but most importantly, as Texans. Our pledge, both to the U.S. and Texas flags, is a promise to treat everyone as significant. We pledge to honor the Texas flag by remembering that our state is indivisible. That means that we don't separate people into groups that are more deserving than others. We are one state, one people, and because of that, we exist as a land of promise for people all over the world. Article 7, Section 2 of the Texas Constitution says, "It shall be the duty of the legislature to establish and maintain a system of public free schools." This is the most important promise that Texas makes to teachers, to students, and parents. But what does that mean to be a public school? A few weeks ago, my students and I were practicing uninterrupted silent writing when I heard a child outside shrieking in the breezeway. It was jarring because it sounded as if the screamer were under attack. The sound bounced off the courtyard at regular intervals all the way down a long stretch of concrete. But I knew this voice. It's a voice that's been in the background of my days for more than a year. It belongs to a teenage boy in a wheelchair. He has developmental delays that keep him from speaking. His voice is strong, however, and he definitely communicates, though not with sentences. He shrieks at least 3 times a day. I think of his voice as my chime, as church bells, and he has become a signal for various parts of my day. He always makes me smile, whatever I'm doing, when I hear him. That shriek is one of pure delight and pure joy. He calls me to remember always that public schools exist for students like him. He'll never pass a standardized test. He'll never go to college. But that doesn't mean that his deeply committed teachers don't work to help him increase his knowledge and skills. If certain critics had their way, opportunities would be closed to students like him. As I heard his joyful shrieking yesterday, I thought, without public school, who would accept him as a student? Who would give him that 3 times a day joyride down the breezeway to look at the spring flowers, to dodge the fat squirrels, to feel the wind and the sun on his face? You, as TSTA delegates, have done so much already. But now we all have to come together to help our legislators remember what you already know as teachers. As our legislators take up important educational bills this session, as you visit them and call them and write them, help them remember to keep their promises. Call on them to remember that public schools exist for gifted students, but they also exist for refugee students, for students leaving bad choices that land them in jail, for pregnant girls who are trying to graduate for their baby's sake, for students who struggle to form sentences and who take 7 or more tries to pass an end-of-course test. And yes, public schools exist for the boy who shrieks 3 times a day and calls me to compassion. Thank you, TSTA, for being our gladiators. Thank you for being our fighters. This award is a promise from me that I add my voice to yours to make sure public education stays public. Thank you.